Hi, my name is Crystal, and you're watching the Deslob student. If you watched the previous video, you will already know that this is part 2 of some old footage. The old footage that I'm referring to is when I last had my stuff in a storage locker, a storage unit, the same exact storage unit that I had back in 2017 is the same one that I chose to use this year. But instead of me just packing away my scrapbooking stuff for decluttering, I am now packing away my whole apartment, my whole 2-bedroom apartment, as I try to decide what I'm going to do with the next several years of my life. This video is extremely triggering to me because I'm reading a journal entry and I'm reading it out loud in front of the storage unit, and it really has nothing to do with the decluttering of my scrapbooking stuff. But it does have a lot to do with my relationship, and in hindsight, it's got a lot of insight. And just something I want to document for my own healing purposes. So if you're interested in watching this, it's about 9-10 minutes long. So let's roll the tape.
I want to talk today about why I think Jim treats me poorly. One simple answer: because I let him. We can't stop people from behaving badly, but we can decide how we react when they behave badly or when they treat us at a lower value than we really are. In that moment, we get to make the decision whether to stay or to go, or whether to say something or be passive. And if someone is continually treating us badly, day in and day out, it's because we are allowing them to do so. The real question is, why do we allow people to treat us badly? More specifically, why do I allow Jim to talk to me the way that he does? What is it in me that allows Jim to keep doing that behavior over and over? Maybe it's because I love him and I want to be with him forever. So I overlook, forgive, and justify his behavior, and I make excuses for it so I can stay married to him forever. Is that really it? Let's look deeper. If my self-worth is so low that I don't think I'm worth more or worth better treatment than what he's given me, I allow it to happen because I deserve it. And besides, leaving Jim is too scary. Starting over again is too scary. So this is how I have created something in my mind called cognitive dissonance. Definition: the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as relating to behavioral decisions and attitude changes. If my daughter ever met a man like the man I'm married to, I'd tell her to run. I'd hope she'd see how undervalued he's treating her and how much better she deserves. But because of my reasons, I stay. I don't listen to my own advice. When Jim acts out in anger, jealousy, or just plain rudely, I used to placate. I used to give him what he wants and do damage control ASAP. And I stuck around. My excuse was that I understand him. I am a forgiving person. I know he can't help it. But I'm no longer able to justify his behavior. I can no longer see it his way without devaluing myself and feel the deep resentment that he doesn't value me much either. I have such a kindness in me that can forgive him and survive this marriage another year. If I was honest with myself, if I valued myself more, I would have been gone by now. or at least had a much more honest conversation with my husband instead of allowing him to change my personality and put up with his poor behavior. If I would have been upfront, direct, honest with Jim, no matter how scared I was of his anger and rejection, he would have had the opportunity to respect me to my standards. By showing him my worth, he would have found me worthy of treating me respectfully, or at least had the opportunity to deny the relationship to continue if he felt my expectations were too high. That's what he is saying now. Now that I'm standing up for myself, he's saying that I am expecting too much and I am only disappointing myself. Really? Really? I finally see a glimpse of my self-worth, and I'm supposed to lower my standard that I feel I deserve as a woman and as a wife and as a mother. Fuck no. I don't put a high value on myself. But if I don't put a higher value than what he's been giving me, he won't put a higher value on me either. And in a relationship, if I don't communicate honestly what I don't like and don't allow him to see the repercussions of what happens if he doesn't treat me with enough respect, then he will never feel any incentive to change. Eventually, Jim will do something so big and so unforgivable that even my cognitive dissonance will not allow it anymore. That's where I am. I swim in and out of cognitive dissonance, that when I'm out, it's like another version of me, screaming as loud as she can to wake me up, and will do or say things so drastic so that they leave a long-lasting impression. It's like my brain can't reconcile the idea that I am a mentally stable person, and I still allow this behavior to go on. So I become mentally unstable. This is the definition of cognitive dissonance. The thing I've noticed about my self-worth has continued to go down. I look at how long I've stayed in this marriage that my soul doesn't approve of. I look at how we started and all the red flags I saw and deliberately chose to ignore. I looked at my needs and how they have systematically not been met, day after day, year after year. My need to feel significant, my need for security, my need for connection and unconditional love. Then I start to believe, maybe he's not so bad. Maybe I can't do better. Maybe I didn't treat him the way he needs to be treated, so that if I figure out the formula to make Jim happy, then he will naturally, effortlessly want to make me happy. And not just once in a while, but daily. No more jealousy bullshit. No more temper tantrums. No more tug-of-war battles. No more quid quo pro sex. No more surface love, but a real deep understanding love. Is that what they call a feedback loop? A nasty cycle. I've been here before with the same frustrations, the same regrets, the same realizations, and the same solutions. That I need to change me so that I can get what I want from him. Bullshit. Bullshit. Why can't we just exist naturally, happily? No. I don't need to alter anyone, just be. I'm not talking about nitpicking, nagging, or even self-improvement for the sake of growth. I'm talking about that moment where fundamentally Jim isn't treating me with respect. He doesn't support me, he doesn't trust me, and he doesn't want to know about the real me. When I think about my ideal partner and the level of self-worth and value and love that he would have for me, it isn't a lot. It's just a lot more than what I've received in the last dozen years with Jim. Since August of 2006, I have had a gut feeling that this relationship wasn't quite right for me. But my feelings of self-worth were so low, I didn't trust my gut. And I listened to my logic and settled for a relationship that was less than I deserved. all for the sake of wanting to feel significant. This messed me up because I am still searching for significance outside of my children, and this is why it has taken me 12 years to listen to my gut. I have realized that my self-worth a little more, and I am having heart-to-heart discussions with my soul, and I cannot ignore my true self anymore.
That was intense, don't you think? Stay tuned for part 3, where we find more old footage. And in part 3, it really is a good final hurrah to my relationship issues versus my hoarding and cluttering and scrapbooking mess that was cluttering up the dining room for several years, and the impact that it had on my marriage. And also the denial stuff. I had a lot of insight to that too, so stay tuned for part 3. That's coming tomorrow. So thanks again, and comment below. Do you relate to any of this? Do you understand? Are you following me at all? Or if you don't understand, maybe you want to go check out some of my previous videos. Or if you don't care, that's okay, because really this is the whole journey thing that I am on, and I'm just choosing to share in case it reaches one person that might relate. Just one person that might relate. Thanks again so much. Talk to you later. I just really appreciate your support. Bye.